Yep, he's back.
Turn the laptop okay. Okay, let's start. Jay, Jay wa han okta da koi baseline team ki makai da gi tara nok chawa galo na ikai khuna bochari Jay. Adu Jay interaction program se hodringa gi mamang da akoi gi team sigi maram da kitang haijage Jay. Baseline team se akoi 22 members sing punsin jaraga akoi gi junior sing da club from class 9 to 12 gi student sing se moida kitang mateng pangbo oina haidi competition sing silaga akoi je hona jabani che ado akoi moi je from June dagi horaga June dana essay competition pangthok jagre aduga July dana quiz competition amadi painting competition pangthoe aduga handa August ki dana essay competition amuk pangthok pani che adu pandemic sina mar moraga moise adum yumda lesson bada khara boring chu budu khara phagada na traga moi like adum interest lainaba gi oina mateng pangboina khoina team sina smaina competition je sinja bani che.
Yeah, that's very good. I read about it, and I want to start by congratulating your team for such a great initiative, and particularly, all of you. I did know ki thabak lay badu gi mathak to the CC volunteer tawraga tawbanina. We need more people like you to come out, right? So first of all, I want to start the program by giving my thakachari to each and every member, because class 9 to 12 is a very impactful age, right? So whatever you absorb during that time is going to help any individual. So well done, kudos to all of you, and I'm really happy to be meeting everybody today. I have met Limba before, but yes, I mean, all the 22 members, I hope you listen to this conversation, and each one of you, congratulations for being a part of Baseline team.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Che. Then, makha tar khujidi Che gi maram da akoi Che na magazine da hapnaba content share tawbirakpadagi akoi Che gi kharadi magazine da di happe adu natabda Che gi chindagi Che gi sep introduction macha amdu tawbiru Che interaction sigi aya kaino khudong chaba lawjaraga.
Yeah, sure. So right now I am in Maryland, in a beautiful place called Maryland in the East Coast of United States. Ado aina horakpadadi ay Manipur gi Kwakathel Thiam Lekai the Pokchabani akoigi baba ga ima ga from a very humble family. Akoi baba ga ima anima kojani aduga akoi chinenau Mari gi manunda aina ahum suba oiba. Aduga little flower tama aduga little flower tama matunda aina chawrakpa matamda di Manipur si yamna conflicted oi. But still, we have like other things to deal with. But at that time, conflict was more on, lack of freedom, adagi Iran labor, mapanthokpada kinaba matan bomb blast over the combing operation, adagi matam the charakpanina. Even now, I think the trend is there. Angang sing se mapan the thado agadi moise larik tamaga larik tuna magi hinaba lambi amada chatpangam gani habagi thazaba dayambana mama passing se pesa laiba laitaba lainaba pesa du pugani khangde lamyon bani khangde sana bandhan thambani khangde admaina tawraka macha sing se thabagi face ni adugi conflict area sida aduda at a very young age I left Manipur class 10 high say aina matam da di aina Manipur da gi tholak pakanda yamna chawre kaina khangi ko. But now when I look back aduga gi on ai gi chale ra kanda later ga moi gi pibam se uba kanda class 10 is very young, aduga matam da khoina chalak pasi Imphal dagi Guwahati bho bus na chalaga bus dagi amuk train na limit humni dagi delay ga tawraga namin mangani ga changba yaweba Bombay da tame I said junior college class 11 ga 12 ka se duga Bombay da maina tamaga engineering muk tawre Bangalore da chahi mari duga Bangalore gi engineering tawraga dum moi campus interview da khallaga aise withdraw da na aham bai gi career gi line changakpa aduga aina engineering tawbasi electronics the dikhan bani but I changed to computer science aduga mathang admaina thabak tawrakanda hujik ai US adum thabak tawraga lai that is my livelihood aduga for my passion and for something which I believe in I do finding the voices to contribute a little bit for Manipur and also it's a very fun thing for me to connect to the people of my birthplace.
Say kanoda yumnagadi toile lakpidabra.
Yumda I say at least once a year lakjabani aduga handak RC takpangamdre COVID problems but as soon as it opens up and we are comfortable I soidana lakani aduga
yeah we will plan for a meeting.
yes definitely
Chena hause finding the boys ki ju Chena founder oi biri ko adu Chena sigi finding the boys si ji tawrakana akhoi society da piwa impact sing do che gi aim and objective lai dana adu marik chumna kitanga haidi kitang di panbigre ba hujung mangda adu khara hena ka elaborate oina kitang panbiyo che
finding the voice is a culmination of many things masi ainan no mahukalaga I be finding the voice out again at the a lot of things right ada koina conflict the chawrak bahai se even now right the remnants of conflict is there maybe akoina aigi matam dana amna koi se akiba fear se it was there for me and for many people aduga adong ki ba hebedi akoi se akoi gi conflict ki makada chawrakpanina mingonda wangang basuki re natra even young teenager mapanda thokpakanda police samana natraga army mana check tokpakanda yamna kiba dagi coming operation gumba tawbada kiba nomai kapa dagi conflict bomb gumba gi dagi protest mayam tawbada chatpa adugumba gi akiba dagi thakat pase adugumba suyam dai greko even now juziki matam da hairagadi conflict the chawrakiba mayam se moigi mental problem yamna uiko and I am sure like if I ask all of you how many of you know somebody very close to you who have mental issues in Manipur somebody yeah somebody and that is because akhoi gi conflicts ina akhoi mind se am impact outra aduna angang ama chawrakpa kanda su angang ama si chawrakpa kanda ahan laman ngang batasu they are doing it in their best intent but when you come out in the world that may not be the best thing I dinoi ngang gano nangi express taw gano ay ngang basitaw ay na ayamba matam da khoi gi society se hydra right so then but when you are coming it at the world level people want you to be speaking your mind right nang career amada kana to ge heradi those are skill sets you need right so finding the voices came with a lot of things that when I came out of my hometown class 10 gi matunda I say Sophia College tame tamakpakanda it was so different right it classroom the hyrone small example noigi audience ayambana young people nina so let me give some example of my growing up akoina classroom the ozana wa hangbakanda ayamba matamda akoigi teaching style haigatra ko Manipur da aina chawakpakanda it is the download from the teacher right Adi ojaduna sa do haramani adagi nang hangbagi kana so opportunity so kaya lairoi aduga encouragement so kaya di tauroi adu khara budi taurasu you don't have that much of opportunity natra aduna koi se khanga su khangi haibagi khut thangkala kan da hangbagi keno se koi de confidence yam leirakte ba ngangoi nge da aduga mapan da thola kan da mayam se question hanga kan se da aina khang base khange haina confidence so later ne na khotang ka tretana aduga moi thangka liba mi myam na khomok padi hoi achumba su yawe to su aran basu yawe ba but you have to admire that confidence in a child right 11th standard to the mana uzamana question hang bakan da mana khum bada mana khan baduk phongtok pangam base nang na haiba haita badudi you can always learn right aduna masi urapakanda aina and I took a lot of coaxing from my teachers who nurtured me in you know in my personality aduna finding the voice tawrakpakanda that also played a role but mainly when I started, noina hujuzik taurise angang sing class 9 to 12 the guidance tauris maina khala kanda aina mapanda chatlaga back to Manipur lakpakanda akoigi imaga babaga na akoigi yumda hostel girls hostel amma taurame girls hostel sita upakanda you know so beautiful people I met from all over Manipur you know, with different ethnic group different ethnic group, they get different background. Aduga mo miyam sinang on hang ba chiche kay tamba khut basi kari na kana kani adagi kari tamni kan haira ka ay sana computer science engineering gi guidance ti piba nga maga atay di piba da ay gi feel na tabani na ngam kita ba.
Ise adugi question no mang ni hanaki kano da counseling me am chaki koi counseling to gi ko.
Yes.
To gi da adugi question no ne na man koi lai jangang sing de.
Yeah, because you know and it is true, right? Class 9 to class 12 sida thingna bami ubami dugi inspiration do later gadi then you have a lot of choices, right? Aduna exposed to already kangoi do neba. Aduna, for example, when I was small, I ahambada ozao iningami because I saw my parents, right?
Yeah.
And then when I studied in Little Flower School, I used to mingle with a lot of the nuns. Then I wanted to become a nun. Right? I used to wear that okay sister hoina uppa kokta uppa kanodo aduga do sile baise. And then so you know so what I'm trying to say is when you are exposed to people to different things what people do then you will be inspired to do different things and you have different choice, right? Nang na kang even food the sunang na cha ba se different try to dragati nang adu pam gani pam way se khang de dana. Aduna it is very important for us and for everybody to be conscious that during this age, you know, whatever you're exposed to is going to shape, right? Aduna matam sida ay se akoigi ay na yamna nungsina tamo buddha kaupa tamo buddha contract pam masuk wakatel da gini ay ki koi tamo mama se matam du tama se lare ka mahiba IIT ka khalla ga mase thola kan da gam sanga sanga ga mase sports da ga siam taraga so you know the way he spoke like it was so different and he allowed me to answer any question what he asked, he would give me that comfort level to be free to express on ba. Ito ka mangon da ina matam do the mat tam mana yung the lady ngayon. So I got really inspired to be an engineer, right? So that's how like you know I'm just sharing that it is very important at that age, right? Like you said, many kids they would come and say what is good. right? But many people may also think that aigi matamdadi only doctor and engineer were the option because that is only what they considered to be a sustaining career aduga yanasu pamnaba career oigibado aigi wakhanda aina mayam mapanda thokla kanta a lot of people are doing very good in any field which you are aligned to, right? Aduga doctor engineer di oiningdaba kaygumba say music industry gumba da changninga kanda mama pasinanti music daga di changhaningdaba thabak phangoidra dai pisa phangoidra kaina khanba leidana so when I am getting people in my show who have broken all that but they are doing and following their passion it gives inspiration, right, and motivation to the people that yes, I can do it. Even parents community the sumoina doctor engineer khatang khalli se moi khangdabagine ba moina sumi amans mind tawraga uraga dema adusu tawine haraga aina adugi department da khangra sumi atai leiri aduga akhoi gi on manipur gi mi dagi chatpada uraga di aduna hena inspiring oitana adunida so that's how finding the voices will benefit the people and impact and finding the voice interview the key amok akoina we started growing, right? So it's been a long time 2012 the launched Ogibani, so you can imagine like during this phase a lot of things we are doing but right now my personal project my best project which I am working on is the literature project and also personality development project which I find that a lot of us underestimate the power in us, right? Koina tawba ngamgadra ngamoidra ina adugi underestimate tawrakanda koise koigi best potential the perform tawba ngamdaba duna koigi high achiever gi workshop nang nasase high achiever ni haibese sigi belief aligned tawba aduga at the same time learn a lot of tools confidence all are tools everything in life you can learn right when your mind is open aduna adugi tawrakanda in a small way I try to impact anybody I touch be it the listener of my show be it somebody in my workshop be it someone whom I'm speaking, right? I'm speaking to all of you and you're listening to me because of finding the voices. So that's how I make
I appreciate
adu chena hoje literature da hoje tawe habda adudo aina ju chegi social media da chena thagat pa ure buka recitation ga tawa cycling ga chalaga adu che je ITO ina engineering chatlu banidana adu poto kitang literature ga adai engineering ga kitang different ti laidana subject ta yenga ade adu chena kamaina hana dagi cheda sigi recitation gumba tawning bagi na tajida ana literature oiba post cheda hana yaurak pra na traga kamaina taw kidno sije kamaina ni jeda so
great question you guys are asking very good question literature se akoi imase aigi imasi literature gi ojan aduna yam pi ngai da noi ti yam na ha angang oiri means aigi mita so I don't know how many of you when you grew up studied in Latin the tarik parak pakana yawi yawi ko so akoy di aigi matam da de akoy se Latin the larik pare eba aduga dukka tharakan da Latin gi kena tengali ka bado adu kena singtok pa se aigi ithone adagi aduna imana akoy se nungdang da phamung da mana larik se pabi because so I grew up with the art of storytelling from my mother and her way of telling story any akoigi literature gi keno se nungai base storytelling se tawraga mangon da tamjaningai ama yarakane ba adagi tamjaningai da natana even like romance right when you read you will learn like different ways. Nang na yung manak to the ako'y na urisi. Like for me, books played a very important role. I told you about like ay na chawrapakanda kara yam na ngang oiring dadi. Adum I had a very nice carefree childhood. Aduga kara chawrakanda di matam patabagi ne hara ka yung da pura lockdown ki mawong ne ba no ino zik COVID ki lockdown tawrise. Sige type ka dum maina chawre aduga matam sida aigi only source of outlets a book oi ki ba. Right? Aduna Manipur sida, for example, aina ako'y gilagay ki da nupana ka may nupi se puba da yam tina puba kau ba da nupi se ay gimit sida may ang siyam kang nga aina ugi ba da adugas may naga 5 ki ba da. And then I saw, you know, husband abusing wife in front of people sexually, you know, and those are scenes which will never go away from my mind. Aduna aina book se parakanda, I saw a different world somewhere out. You know, I don't even know where, but not in India, but in one corner of the world, how women are so empowered, how they can, you know, become something what they want. And, you know, many character hai tareko. Adugumbagi lariksi pa ki baday amna influence tauki. Aduga, so that was more of my personal learning. And I never used to read books written by authors of Manipur because at that time, first of all, there was no books. I didn't have any access to books, right? At the mind Torakanda, I am out of Manipur, Nataba, Matamduda, and Karaping, the Nancy Drugi series, Hardy Boys, Akoigi own group Kalerame. I don't know if you guys have read Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, and things like that. At the minor literature ki background delay, and then I also like writing, writing as in reflective writing, you know, journaling, writing stories. Mostly my inspiration is on reality. If I write a story, it is fictionized, but it is based on something which has touched me. So that background is there. But for finding the voices, the reason why we added literature is mainly for my mother. Ako'y Masi, you know, she has been reading a lot of books for me. And then way back in 2016, we went through a very, you know, grieving time. And then I was actually very afraid of my mother, of losing my mother also at that time. Mana Sondharakpa Magi Matwai Nuaitabo Mayam do Urakanda I say on the Kubabasu Legitre Harakamase Masondhakradi and Angon de Amna Pakatkiba Matamama Yauki. Masidesa Aina Isadahangi. What does my mother like? Right. And so these are techniques what I use for my personality development classes. These are techniques what I use for myself. Right. So when you are down, what do you have to pull yourself up? And how do you pull yourself up? By identifying and going towards things which you like. Right. Aduna ako'y maase aina matam sita US pora quite a pilgrimage, and then I started thinking, and suddenly this idea about literature came, right? And a lot of like, you know, all our phone calls and everything, man, worry kiba. I say like Sukesiyam like the Oita here, Egi place it. The Egi Kambat would be a Chawuma delayed. So we started, you know, I requested her that, you know, can you read it for me? And I also always wanted to listen to the original Kambathoibi story. And I recorded it for people like me who is not very fluent in reading Meitei script. but we want to hear, right? We want to connect to our root. Aduna masipa ki bagi matam sida ko mase, some of the scenes she couldn't read. So that is the power of literature. Maybe hizamangangal na irami sidi kuiradra. Kuiraga sumana irambasi huzik apaba mana magi adugi intent, magi energy to adu power kanda kapan bangameba.
Literature 하이지다고 담모이다 반드가디 타이너기 아코기 호록팜 하이타레네 호록팜 아코기 레저가 히스토리도 도 사다 반가 마tamda 사다 히스토리도 강자가다니 삼삼나 하여다.
Yes, and then amana adegi akoi masina akoigi mana literature se amna numsijaba yamna pamjaba oibenina akoi Manipur da hana Bengali script oirameko. Adegi huzik maitai may script oire aduna, and there is that fear, and it is a right fear. Akoi mayam na Manipuri literature haisida ibiramba mayam se pot se archive to bumachandra. Akoigi mapanda tamgiba mi mayam na maitai ron se paba sum tok basu leire natra ngangbaga tabaga dikhangba aduga anauba huziki angang singna maitai may khangani mai Bengali script iba di khangaro adoi di Bengali script ikiba pot sing se maitai may da akoina doina mak translate tau dragati manganeba Bengali script iba paba haiba sing se Sidi moidi ahanoira banina moigi generations chatkragani. So there is that fear, right? There are a lot of books, and I'm so amazed, and I feel really bad. When I grew up, huzuzik aina khalini, aina huzuzik writer may am moigi work saying pakanda. There were books, right? Written way ahead. Adugi lyrics into matam du phangi deva. So right now what I'm trying to do is we started with my mom. My mom is focusing in Koimana Maitailon, the Eva literature. She focused auraga ainamuk translated versions. So there's the focus auraga in a fun way. I'm learning and we are sharing it with the people. And so what you have seen cycling it that I do, it is a fun challenge for myself. But it has been good, right? Akoigi Manipuri author na iba saying singse English to translate the one. Natragana Manipuri author sings in English to work like this is yam lady ba saying dang nataba books, and we don't talk about it. There are people who talk about it, but the more and more we talk about it, we will promote it and people will come to know, and that's how we share. So that's one of the latest edition for literature. Aduna literature gi kana bahiraga di insagi haibadu. Life the everything is story. No mayam YouTube yeng ayam matam da ai gi high achiever class tala ai chiche ai kai tawgadabno ai khami do ai matam se Facebook by baga YouTube ka dagi smayang bata chat le hai. Why do people like that? Because it's the storytelling, right? Sinmayam yengdra. Sinmayang see most of it is based on reality, right? Adugi reality de tauba de documentary taropakanda akoina sigumbagi form of yengning is storytelling neba. But most of the hit movie you see, it'll be based from a book. So try reading a book and watching the movie. There will be that different essence. Ani magtugi charm the different orakaneba. So I think it is that additional perspective you get in a fun way. So I would definitely encourage everybody to read books. Write your feelings, your thoughts, because literature is not optional. And then I think you mentioned about science, right? But if you see many of the people who are writers, famous writers in literature, they are from science stream. Koi Manipur gida Hairo Dr. Jodha Chandra Sanasam Maming Tabirabra. He was a doctor. right?
Mm.
And you saw how many lyrics he had written, poems, novel. Magi Diktaja Janu novel si last mana pung biramagama se adu matung legi taban. And we are building a library of Manipur, and we are going to launch it soon, and I'll invite all of you. See the audio books and you have to listen to it. Mana Iramisi, very modern, very different way of writing than other books I have read about Manipur. But he was not a literature guy right in the beginning. He professionally he was a doctor. The Giti Koigita Dr. Lamabam Kamal, one of the founding male writer, Master Dr. Neko. And then in some of the seminar I have gone in Manipur, I'm talking in the context of Manipur, but there could be a lot of different examples globally, that science stream, the changa literature, Mari Laina. In fact, it's that very creative work, right? In science, creativity is what I think which brings
space for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, and read it, romantic poem, books, wari nungsiba, human connection, like it makes you live somebody's life without living it, right? Moina the taugiba, khotkiba, singi experience.
Ma'am, makata kwasida ma'am mo aina hangjaningi ja akoigi ma'am gi profession oina de IT ko ad engineering this minor lakpasida akoigi hoje maroina akoina sinjariba angang ji class 9 to 12 phone dana ado moigi career je ma'am gi line ji chatning bo oitardi ma'am na hadi ma'am je akoigi India manung du store adagi di mo international level da tawrabane bo work ado sibugi international level bo ta yorna bo na bada noina sigi line se pam tardi kari ma'am gi line de sigi matang da mo suggestion kai nois mana chatlu or sis mana hono habado adu su kitang thambiramo ma'am.
So first thing, I want everybody to know that you are capable of doing anything you want.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, you are capable. Do not underestimate yourself. First, you have to believe in yourself that you can do, because everything, when you go with the mindset that I can do it, I can learn it. If I don't know it, I will learn it, right? Adugi mindset to the chalagadi nang napamba any field that unsuccessful oiganeba. So I'll give you some example in my life, right? The belief in yourself, that's one thing. Second thing is, it's not only the belief, right? You have to take action. Natra, aina wakanda ay si pami na kalaga adugi panthungbangdu da yauna na bagi action laukatragadi kenatoro yamapam da yoro intra. For example, I'm in Kwakatel and I want to go for a walk to Yumnam. Ay wakanda kalaga ay na kong chuntang thang doktra di adi panthungbang da yoro doing. So I think like we don't have to be so in life, you just follow through some basic principle, right? Believing in yourself, continuing to take action and be consistent, right? I think you're consistent in your action towards your goal. Natra. Aduna aigi line the class 10 pau ay Manipur tamaga mapandai tamakani khangi. Because that was like how we were brought up, right? Last thing gi matung da noi chalo lari tamuro noi ki phangba thabak phango koi kesu pesa tiraga thabak su tau ninde aduga adugi culture to the changning de to nanoi ki to mai to hai ba expectations that koi say that's how we set out our foot, right? Aduna akoigi egi mind sida dum aina lari tambata na teba aina when I went out from Manipur at a very young age, class 10 passed out lora kanda thopase lari tamba khatang khandeba matam sida lari sitama kanda ai sithabak phanga ai self sufficient oi bami ama oi badune ba dumaina goal se already the goal has been set, right? Aduna akoina masigi goal se deter tawdaba, right? For example, akoina aina satri oiringai kanda obviously all of you are young, right? You will want to do things. I dinoi koi bachaninga kani dagi namana biga chatpa dagi interact tawninga kani natra. But you have to know how to balance yourself. For example, I sin mayam yenge. Sin mayam yenge ko. Matamduda aina sin mayang basi engineering tawringai dana heni yenge. Aduga matamduda koi se Bollywood ki movie dana heni yenge. And whichever movie was released on Friday, I would be the first one to go. You know, so everybody would ask me, oh, how is the movie? Is it worth, watching? Amaina hangneba. But after I did what I have to do for fun, I schedule like in the same way, I account every minute, every hour of my time. Even now, everybody is blessed with 24 hours. Natra. Like I used to 24 hour, Nang is to 24 hour, everybody. But how does somebody, perform better, or how does somebody put more time in what they want to do? That is how you learn your time management, right? So when I am studying, it doesn't matter, who is knocking my door, but I stick to my schedule. So those are some of the things which I had used it, which was very, which worked out for me, and which I have suggested to some of my friends who came. Maybe larik si pa ba si mayam sinakan ba sa ayam ba matamda ako'y na satri o ngay da larik taw hayraga larik katang pa rakanda ako'y ginunungay ba ako'y na pamja ba pot ama taw ba da matamang ba na kan ba si ay experience da dim si lalo ni kaleko. Because when you do something you like, right? Kenoma apam mataw ba matamduda ay se ay engineering phase kida ay nungay ba matam harade ay se movie yung basim duga movie yung aga kenoma chaba adune ba ay matamduda duga. Right now for me, what do I like? I like painting, and I like reading poems and bicycling. Right? So those are some things which I like, and I try to maintain it. And things what you like will keep changing, right? At every phase. You will find that your focus on career or studies, you will be able to perform better. Try it actually. All of you try it. Let me ask all of you, like, what do you like to do? How much time are you spending right now?
Just we are just spending with some office works and some like about this baseline thing with some services about students' career. So I think this is my hobby for now.
Okay, so for me, right, when you do something which you like, think about two things. One is about your movement of your body. Active or bagi mato bahabiti walking natragana, running natragana, yoga, whatever, something to do with moving your body, right? Aduma leire. And then the other thing could be anything you want, right? Like baseline is something which you're passionate about,
Yep.
right? So it gives you that burst of energy. Every time for me, right, when I interview somebody, I love it. It's like so amazing to hear the person's story, you know? And it makes me, even if I have to get up early in the morning, it is worth it for me, right? Aduna nangna aigi di nangna pamzaba ama tawrakanda nangi main du pam de haibanataba. It makes it more productive haibanida. So that is how I have always balanced it out. So to all the students, I am here to tell that, you know, reading a book, if you like reading novels or like going out somewhere, but you have to balance it. Okay, you know, mayam na kalisi ayam mamatanda nang larikatang pau larikatang parakanda. What if you don't know how to socially mingle with people? Putra ayamba akwagi situation that larikam hairaka socially mingle to bangam dragati, right? Because right now when I interview people, I may have a very smart person and I may have somebody who is good and willing to learn, right? Who has the capability to learn, but has a very good interpersonal skill too. What do you think a person would choose, right? Because right now, a lot of the work you do is teamwork. Social skill, collaborative skill, sigumbalay tragadi, interview tawbakanda nina nang direct chang yadeba. So what is going to keep you, you know, stand out amongst everybody? Nangi, you being you, right? Say everybody is unique and special. So nobody is there to compete with your personality, right? So that's why I want to encourage all of you to be you, yourself, right? So for me, when I talk about where I come from, what I'm passionate about, why do I paint this? Why do I do fundraising, you know, for education, everything? I'm so different than my colleagues, but they like me because I'm me, right? And I want to emphasize on this because sometimes I have seen, and I have gone through it too. You know, akoigi roots se haiba kanda ikaiba. Akoigi angansing mayam tabiri bena kan biyu. Akoi baba kesu kena tau tema auto-rickshaw thawe. Akoi baba kem tau tema farming thawe. What? Kem tau de bukaino. Because their father is driving the auto rickshaw, because their father and mother are doing farming, and larita medu aduna tamid natra. So you have to be proud of who you are. You have to be proud of where we come from. Ako'y baba si Yumnam dagi hungkala kanda mas self-made person ni aduga mana pakatelda hungkala galay bani aduga mama chamari poe ako'y maga plap tauraga ako'y miyam se mapam da you know, they invested everything what they had in raising us up with gender equality and gave us the gift of education. Right? So when I say, why is that story important? Aina ako'y basi, Yumnam dagi kwakatelda hunkalaga leibane. I say, why is that important? Tell me. In our culture, do you know how many people say that? Oh, lawai dagi hunkalakpan. Right? But I am proud. I am proud to say that my father is a self-made person. My father studied under a lamppost he believed in education, and because of him, I am where I am, because of his story. Right?
We have to
ꯑꯍꯥꯟꯕꯗꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯃꯄꯥꯟ ꯊꯣꯛꯂꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯍꯧꯔꯛꯐꯝ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯕꯦꯛꯒ꯭ꯔꯥꯎꯟꯁꯦ ꯏꯀꯥꯏꯕꯅꯦꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗ. But what I have learned from my experience, and now that I am empowered, I am able to speak my truth. I find that it is very important. Right? Or when we wear our clothes, akoina function gumba ma chatpa kanda akoigi dress selaga, you carry it with a smile and tell people what is it, right? And for the most part, aya mamatamda akoi say, people will ask you with good intent. Oh wow, that's so beautiful. Where are you from? Right? And aduga akoi miyam sinamo, where are you from kind? India other line in Manipur Khangda bro. This house and Bagi Mahut could be. Do you, like, I'm asking all of you, do you think that you know every nook and corner of India? India gi different place tanangna state level khangagasu state amagi dress to na khangbra. I'm asking you, right? All of you, no, we don't. So akoi tasu akoi say khara yamna khara reactive oibagi mina kanom haira kandas ai se Manipur dagi adagi sakchu manadabagi usitrine kaina khanbagi attitude so later. So what I'm trying to say is, you will feel it. Kananomna maina haira gadi nang na dum khangani akoigi energy se dum rito bangamdra mina usitana ngang pasi so akoina feel to bangamgani aduga mi amana mana tasengna khangdana hangakpadudi. I think it is a great opportunity for us to make conversations, talk about it, right? So I think all those different things help me, as a student, and that grit, right? I think Sagimi no sitana harapase hire eba. Koigi aina igi student life, igi growing up phase tasu. Ado hairakpadu adu do the man adu hire ein nungaitad. Like the Buddhi man adu haira ido, this person doesn't know who I am. I am going to show it with my action haraganangi action do. And be consistent nang lari pagadaba nang tawgadaba dum tawba dagi akoina hangbaki daba. That's another challenge which I think many people have. Akoina hang basi stay kangini na hang dabado. Right? But you have to ask. If you don't ask, you will not know and you will not get it. Right? So the first thing you have to step out is ask. So I'll give you an example here. Aina ngasay pankidana ay ahamba matamda kano engineering ki khalak se electronics ta khalakibane. But I always wanted to do computer science. Aduna aina Bangalore da engineering college se the first day yo was the director se the changaga hangi. I'm really interested in doing computer science. How can I change? Money and kalagay kay ginanang tawningindo in hire. Then whatever I explained to him, and he said, okay, let me look at your performance and we'll think about it in hiraga. So the first and second semester the subject any line that in a money engineering gida. In a third semester karakpakanda magi office to the muchanga hangi matamdu the my office the praku neba mayams. There were a lot of rich people who were able to donate, because there is some quota called management quota where people can donate and you can get into that line of seat. But I am not able to pay that much of money. I don't have money to pay, right? And he knew that. But I don't know, for whatever reason, he gave it to me. He gave the seat for engineering to me and computer science, and that's how I became, right? So the power of asking question. I say electronics that continue to wrong neighbor. Then there was another case where I was in Bombay, where I did not get the hostel. Queen Sophia College, the lady in the hostel se phang hide, yamna thing laki bagi. Aduga, I went and asked the principal, and they didn't allow me to meet the principal. The principal who nabakai say am appointment ga changba dugumba oikiba. Adumagi, my office se office ki mamang sida I said magi sina secretary sina I say changhan reba. Ado ay na kidawi. My office ki mamang sida pamagalere. Pame. My class lo raga pung baro day chak su sadre said pame. Adagi pung 4:35 ado my year amma kani kan bada koi college se kha kahang ni le ra tre adagi principal sina sai dagi no pim sam pame se my office day di ubajan. To the last the principals in Masana Kosale. Then I told my story of how I'm struggling staying outside at the Basna Laka Footpath, the Gimani Buddha Gilakani, I see kind IG background higher. And then at that time, Nupiyama Mase Rajasthan Dagi Lakata Minjanda. She took the decision that Nupiyama Duma late the lab and in a Mase my sit for fit or Duka on the period. And these are people whom I don't know at all, right? So always the power of asking, aduna kanoma thingsan gre, kanoma loire, degi adugi deadline doi gre. Yeah, there are times obviously, where you will get no as an answer, right? But that doesn't mean that you have to stop asking. Then what else can I share? So action, nangi pagadaba, larik taugadaba, because that is your main job right now, right? Everybody at any phase of your life, you will have a main job. Nang student already, your main job is studying. And all these other things, what I spoke about, aduna side or ba. They tabak tauragadi nangi main livelihood see. Nangi tabak to the ginina, that is your main thing. So those things you have to excel, right? Then you do the additional things to make you stand out of the ordinary, right? Aduduna, you being you. Aduere, and I would say that again, how do you make yourself how do you make yourself different, right? I would definitely focus on those things. Maybe, for example, ako nangi school, natragana college, any competition, any extracurricular, any volunteering event like pakanda, I would definitely encourage everybody to participate, because that is going to come in, making you different. So those are, the key things which I have used when I was younger, and I'm still using it, and it works. Any specific question you have for me?
Lemba.
Oh,
Hello. Ako'y magazine share to radra.
okay. So basically just for like I'm just sharing my screen and we'll just go ahead with some research of our magazine. Yeah, Stacey, ano to, screen si Ubi ba?
Yes.
So This is our front cover. So if you don't feel good, okay. So
Oh
this,
no,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. We just put our this one cultural dress and everything here. So this is our third edition. So here it contains about the words from the president, words from the vice president, from editor, and here we have about our conversation that we took from you in email. So here is your details, everything, so that we can share to students and everyone. So we just put it here about all the questions that we asked in the email. And today is the kanogi akhoi contents in the yaw is a kano yaw on citation adagi magi story information set on science fiction gi adu singa akhoi member mar tagi amadi ang kano tagi atopa happening akhoi contents in set on mobiles in them akhoi group one adum collection toraga after le adum da hamagi je adum citation laire poetry gi ona aduga story Olympics scheme story kaya yare the skills ni school kari ni skills soft skills in kay matang da kana to gani haba to matang mo yare the helpful all everyone so akoy gi hujik ki le condition sigi akoy na health ki ona kay ki kaya gi do ape boy ga gi matang da dum ape sweat poetry nó rất là đồng xuyên là dù hè là palm cái này là coi là poetry jam literature poetry dù tụi nhằm palm này là coi là poetry đó nó focus ở trong mà bisa sang ra vậy itu menstruation tentang da yaw re development money ni last year na koi gi hanek ti pang thoki be sai competition ga du gi ranker sing hai ta ranker sing du gi mo gi moi da koi na gratitude pi boy na mo gi rank wise sai koi na kano du na last place ta